Hello everyone, I am Kalpana, working as an assistant professor in SNS College of Engineering in Artificial Intelligence and Data Science Department. Today we are going to discuss about components of operating system. So in before lecture we were discussing about the computer system components. As I said, we have mainly we'll be concentrating on user, application program, operating system and computer hardware. So these are all the important four components of the computer. And here, as we say, users are nothing but the end user who's using the system. We are using the computer or the laptop. The application programs, we say the web browsers or else any word processor, text editors or whatever may be the application we are using. So and then the operating system. So it acts as an interface between the user and the computer hardware. So whatever we do, if we click any file, if we try to open any file, if we want to save the file, whatever may be the operation we perform with the computer hardware, computer resources, with the help of operating system, we can do it. So it acts as an interface between the user and our computer hardware. And so when we talk about these users, we have two views regarding our operating system. So one is user view and system view. User view and system view. So these are all the two viewpoints of an operating system. So if we say user view, it mainly focuses on the user's point of view, the interface we are using. It hides most of the information, um, how we are going to allocate the memory for a particular document, how we are going to load it, how the resources has been allocated. So all these details are hidden from the user. Okay, so if you want to, if you are just want to open any document, if we double click it, it gets open. So that's all only we know. So that is called our user view. So it is focuses on the OS from the perspective of the person using the computer. So it deals with how the system interacts with the users, emphasizing convenience, usability, performance. So mostly it concentrates on these things: convenience, usability and performance. Okay. So this is our user perspective. It usually concentrate on high level things. It hides how it is getting loaded, how the resources has been allocated, how the memory has been allocated. All these details are hidden from the users. And next is systems view is entirely different from the user point of view, user view. So system view, so it has to, the OS has to manage all your resources like hardwares and all sort of things at low level. So this is our system view. System view. So for example, if you want to allocate resources, allocate processes, and you want to handle memory, error handling, interrupts, all these will be taken care by the operating system. So these things comes under system view. It mainly talks about the low level activities like memory management, then resource allocation, input output device handling, interrupts, all these details. Okay, so here user will not bother about these details. Okay, how the interrupt is error is handled, interrupt is handled, all those things. So in system view, so OS manages our hardware as well as resources at the low level. So these are all the main differences of your user view and the system view. So our next is components of operating system. So when we say components of operating system, user, shell, kernel and hardware. So these are all the main components of operating system. We say shell and kernel. So mainly this shell and kernel are the main components of your operating system. So this shell provides an interface between the user and the operating system. Okay, so that is the purpose of this shell. So here, when a user, let's say, if the user wants to open any particular document, what he or she needs to do? He will double click that document to open it. If double click happens for a document, instantly that interrupt that the system call will be interrupted by interprets by this shell. Okay, it receives that user request that this user is going wants to open this file, then that will be um, interprets by this cell. Okay, it receives that request, user request, and then it interprets that request, then it passes that request to the kernel. Okay, that he wants to open this file, so something like that he needs to this shell needs to communicate to the kernel. Then kernel in turn it process that request. Okay, it process that request, which means it loads that document into the memory. So all sort of things will be done by the kernel. So kernel is the core of the operating system. We say it is the heart of the operating system. All kind of resource allocation, memory management, interrupt handling, device handling. So all these things are handled by the kernel only. So it is the heart of your operating system. Okay, the shell just acts as an interface between the user and the kernel. It sends the request which is sent by the user to the kernel that it needs to be done. This document needs to be saved, or else it needs to be opened. Okay, so something like that. The shell passes the information from the user to the kernel. Kernel only is responsible for doing all sort of things. If you want to save a particular document, then memory will be allocated to that document and it will be saved. And or else if you want to access any input output devices like printer or a keyboard, mouse, or whatever it may be, this kernel needs to process everything. If you want to take any printout, this kernel the job will be stored in printer, then the document will be converted into readable form, and finally you're going to take the printout. So all these kind of process will be carried out by the kernel. Okay, so this is the difference between your shell and kernel. So shell acts as an interface between the user and the kernel, which means it is going to pass the request from the user to the kernel which in turn process that request, and it will do the operations. So that's all about today's session. We will discuss about the properties and structures of operating system in next lecture. Thank you.